Yeah, I think, with this being a resale shop, I got the higher brand stuff,
I'm 100% sure that when this idiot fired at this woman that was also careless, it was not justified because this is not his home. This is a museum. He was not at home. He was not in his trailer. And this guy right here is on my list. This right here is a museum, basically, or a workplace. That was not justified. That was murder by the United States military, killing an innocent lady. This needs to stop right now. They need to raise a white flag at the White House so they can surrender, because revolution is at hand. It's kind of Machiavellian. You can't even see the person, but you can see the trigger. Makes me think of Channing Freelove. My fiance, who's dead, was killed by Crip members from the Crip gang over $3,000. And this was far less. Yet they're still getting away with it. That lady right there, before she was killed by the gang member, she owed $3,000 to the United States of America. And now she's dead. She's dead. You know why? Because the country's dead. Impeach Biden. Impeach Kamala Harris. They're gang members. Hey, brother, is that what Channing Freelove looked like when she lost her life over $3,000 US that you thought that she owed? That is a fatal wound given by a crazy man, a gangster in the United States Capitol. Impeach Biden because he's killing her babies. Impeach Kamala Harris because she just killed a baby. Save the church. They're gangsters. That is beautiful. That is part of the church. That is all the gold and silver in the world. And a gangster killed her. You know why? Have you ever read Othello? Did you watch the O.J. Simpson trial?
Police now arrives. The three officers step aside.
Did you watch what O.J. did? Watch. Watch the gangster. See? Gangster. They want you to stop killing babies. Stop killing our babies. There he is again. Look. There he is. A gangster in the White House. A gangster in the White House. And he murdered. He should be up for the death penalty. See?
Is there any particular reason why they won't identify the officer who killed Ashley Babbitt on January 6th during the riot? I believe it was 2021. Not very long ago. There is a criminal out there that needs to be tried. Possible death penalty charges against him. And the United States government is hiding him and should also be charged with millions of deaths to unborn children due to abortion. But this is pure murder. His name will be revealed.
There are dangerous brothers out there that will be tried, and their names will be exposed, and they'll be put on a list. But first, we have to disarm the police and take down the Army, Navy, Air Force, and Marine so that we can seek justice. Because this is going on in abortion clinics, and women are being poisoned with drugs and alcohol and cigarettes. But first, we have to restructure our beautiful country, the United States of Texas.
So they're calling it an execution, and that's what it was. The officer that's hiding will be found. We are going to seek justice. There are two men that are in prison for killing my fiance. They were members of the Crips. They were controlled by the cartel, most likely. Because before Channing died, she told me a Hispanic man was selling her the drugs, which she continued doing, and then was executed by a Crip member. But it's no different than this guy, who is a Crip member. He's a gangster in the White House and communicates with the Crips. Because
Warning.
the White House is corrupted, and this country is corrupted. All the Army, Navy, Air Force, Marines, even the National Guard, they're all on meth, and they're corrupted. Look at this right here. Watch how he lunges forward. Right about, gets permission for the execution, supervised killing, just like Channing Freelove. She tries to fly through there, boom. You can clearly see right here, firing a fatal shot. It was very similar when they killed my fiance. Killed a beautiful woman that could not harm anybody in there. This man will be put to death. The reason why is because when you kill someone, many police officers are on death row. There's a police officer that killed someone that was innocent like that because she was in the wrong place at the wrong time. She had no weapon, and he should be on death row. The United States of America has no right to just simply kill somebody. So this is all going to end soon. You're going to prison, you're going to die in prison, you're going to die by lethal injection by my book. It stops now.
Okay, so this is going to be happening way more than you think. Remember, my father cannot be trusted. He's an abuser of children, and he represents the United States of America, who is the enemy and bows to Satan, okay? They will bow to the one and only Messiah, and Biden and Kabbalah will both bow to me as well, because I'm a Christian, and a Christian means little Christ. It actually does. Now, this is going to be happening a whole lot. People are going to be getting trampled on by the federal government, who needs to be stopped because they're murdering children.
Keith, good evening. Michael Perkins from Plant City is still being held tonight because the U.S. attorney called his case one of the most serious. He's accused of attacking a police officer at the Capitol with a flagpole. Now, the judge did allow the other two who
Poor police officer that got hit by a little flagpole. There he is running for his life. Many people left with ankle bracelets. So many people, because of everything that happened, they wear ankle bracelets. So they're tracking people in the United States. By the way, Biden, I'm not afraid of you. Kamala Harris, I'm not afraid. You will bow to me. Your time is very short in the White House. So get all the abortion stuff done that you need to get done, because we have someone coming in that's going to make abortion illegal. You're probably laughing, aren't you, Biden? You're probably laughing, aren't you, Kamala? We want abortion to be illegal. Your time in the White House is going to go by just like that, in a flash of an eye. And to tell you the truth, when all this is over, we restructure everything, I probably won't even let you live in a care facility towards the end. Biden's a sick racist.
Running away from the federal courthouse in Tampa. Hired on May 30th.
People are running from the government.
Polk County Fire Rescue. Today, 8 on your side.
Whoever represents the federal government's a coward.
Why were you in D.C. on January 6th, ma'am? Also, no comment from Doolin's cousin, Olivia Pollack. Both left the court with GPS.
She has a GPS monitor on her. Right? Over just a party protest that happened.
GPS monitor.
She's wearing a GPS monitor and running
On their ankle.
from the government, right? So whoever represents the United States government is a coward. And you will slither on your belly like the beast.
You wrote it right when you woke up?
Yes.
Who's Jonathan?
You.
You call me Jonathan?
Yes. I have another case.
So, welcome to the Please Subscribe show. So, I wanted to get into another movie called The Assassination of Richard Nixon, which is one of Sean Penn's great roles. Sean Penn is probably one of our best actors since people like Gary Oldman. I didn't put it down on my internet movie database because I could only fit so much stuff in there whenever you write a little bio. But Sean Penn definitely would have made the list. Any actor I'd want to work with, it'd be Sean Penn for sure. Although he has gotten older, but still he doesn't lack in his fervent superpower, however they do that. The reason I'm mentioning The Assassination of Richard Nixon, I think it's a real important film right now. Everything that happened January 6th. So I made some points, delivered you some delusions, and I've also said that I think it's okay to speak out your delusion, you know, to tell your delusions. There goes Sweetie. Hi, Sweetie. Have a good day. Headed down this way. So, some pretty hairy stuff happened at the Capitol. When you watch it, you get full of a lot of anger. Especially when Ashley gets killed. Is that her name? Ashley Babbitt or something like that? I have to make sure I get that name right. Yeah, she was shot in cold blood, simply just trying to, you know, get through a window. She didn't know. There was no sign that said, if you crawl through this window, you'll be executed and get immediate capital punishment, you know. And I wasn't trying to do a pun there either. It's a serious thing. She didn't know. She was already in the Capitol. Why not complete your goal? This is what I have to say. If you're ever in a protest and a big mob and there's police around, get the hell out, right? If the police have lethal weapons and there's a mob, get the hell out. Police are really crazy right now, especially in Oregon. Now, I know these are some brave protesters and there's a lot of stuff that's been going on. But right now, we need to disarm the police in a legal way. Use the law against them. We have to do it by writing laws to make sure that they're not able to do what they did at the Capitol and kill Alicia Babbitt.
I don't even know what she represented. I don't know what she was going to do. She was an innocent woman. She probably had some political beliefs, but nothing dangerous. She wasn't going to take Congress down by hand. And those idiots, well, I'm not going to call anybody idiots, but those guys that were behind her, including the police officers, they weren't going to do any damage to anybody either. No damage would have been done if that would have got through in Congress. It would have just been a big parade. They weren't going to drag anybody out and put anybody on that noose. Yes, they had a noose erected, but it was very loose, and it probably would have broke, especially if they put that fat butt pins in it. Anyway, regardless, what I'm trying to say is that that was a protest that got out of hand. That did happen. I mentioned Neil Young, Ohio. There were several that were shot dead in that protest as well. So it goes back to the 60s. There's another woman that died too. She was an older woman that was a little bit obese. She was in the front of the line, and she was protesting too. I'm coming with like Nolan or something. I can't think of her name. I'll have to look it up. But they tried to drag her off. I got some of the information just last night, so it's brand new stuff. I didn't even know this stuff happened. And they tried to drag her off. She was in the front right there at the Capitol, and she got maced and lost, her wind. She fell down, breathing, went into, I guess, I don't know if she passed out, but she got trampled a little bit on the the miserable crowd, and the cops weren't helping by trying to fend off this crowd that was going to get through anyway. And she ended up dying at the hospital. So 2 died is all I know. I heard some Capitol Police died, but they didn't report it. The New York Times didn't report that. They also are not releasing the name of the Capitol State police officer that shot Babbitt. Not Babbitt. I believe it's Ashley Babbitt that was killed. I'll have to look up the name of the other lady because she was trampled on. That's all they released when I saw it. I didn't see anything about any. There was something DOJ, and there was some kind of. They didn't even go to trial. They just dismissed the whole thing. So, her parents, Ashley's parents, are trying to sue the federal government, and they don't think that there's justice that's been served, and I don't think there has been either. There's a lot of stuff that's gone on since JFK's assassination that I think the government are hiding. But this thing, it was right there in cold blood, right there in front of the whole entire nation. They assassinated and executed a woman. Now, why do I relate that to Channing Free Love? Well, the reason why is because gangs have laws. Gangs have regulations, right? The United States of America is really no different than a gang. A police department is no different than a gang. You know who had regulations and rules? Scarface. You know who that was? Al Capone. He had regulations and rules. They all have regulations and rules. Just because they say they're right and they say that they're the United States of America, don't trample on me, and then they shoot you, doesn't mean that you can't say that you're fighting for liberty and you're fighting for the new country. You say, I represent the new country, and you fight for your right because you know what's good, right? Everybody knows what's good. And what that state Capitol Police officer did to that woman, Ashley, was pure sin and murder. And he will be held accountable in my new country. And it can also be our new country. So Roseanne Boland was her name that was trampled to death at the Capitol on January 6th. This is brand new stuff that I'm getting. So she was, I don't know much about her or Ashley. I don't know their political beliefs or anything. But it was a misfortunate accident. They'd have to investigate that one too, to see if the police escalated the matter in front of the Capitol and not allowing the protest to happen. So it was a pretty hairy thing. It's pretty hairy. So what I would say the best thing to do for the revolutionaries right now is just to remain calm. The reason why is because let these things residue. Give it a good year or so. Let it residue, because we do want justice. Also, another thing, too. Trump was acquitted for both accusations. So he was accused of being a criminal and was acquitted both times. So that means that he has, if I think he has the right to run again.
And I think this time the best thing to do is to press down on the abortion laws to make it illegal. I think that January 6th happened because of abortion. When the Holocaust happened, it was because people were being held against their will in camps, forced to work in factories with no food. Eventually, people will riot against that. Now, of course, it was organized. So the Axis and Allies had organized, or the Allies and the Axis had organized military. So the Allies' military became very organized. That means the British, that means the Americans, even the French, who were revolutionaries in the fact that they were mostly hidden. It was a French resistance, but they were very secretive. So they all organized over time and planned everything out perfectly. That's what D-Day was. It was planned out in a perfect way where it could not fail. They knew that they sent that many men, that many ships in one direction, right? And they all attacked that eventually they would succeed. And D-Day worked out. So we must plan and let things residue. We know someone innocent was killed. Let's see what they do now. Has things gotten better since Biden's been in office? No, things have gotten worse. Is there police reform? No, there's not. More being killed. Even right now, there's a police officer beating on someone nearly to death right now as I speak. There's an unborn baby being killed right now as I speak. It just happened, just like that. We're not going to have peace with Biden. We're only going to have war. And it's going to be within our own country. Is it possible that we could have probably have peace by now with Trump? Absolutely. Would the pandemic be gone? It would have been gone months ago. Will the pandemic end with Biden? Absolutely not. It will not. Someone will have to come into office to end the pandemic and create peace. There's only one way that we can create peace. We use peace. We create peace with peace. So everyone's fighting, or at one point was fighting about the election. Now let me tell you this about Biden's election. That was one of the times I didn't get a chance to vote. Because the pandemic was so screwed up and everything was so wrong, right? And there was so much fear in the air, I did not get a chance to. And I know there's many others that didn't. So there'll be a time for us to vote, and we'll do what's right. I'm voting to save the babies because I'm a family man. I believe in family. I don't believe in abortion. I don't believe that methamphetamine should be in the military. I do not believe that people that are these atheists that are out there trying to harm these Satanists that are trying to rise up and become organized, I think they'll turn on themselves. Why do I say atheism? Because I feel that if you don't have God in your heart, you will eventually do what's wrong, right? So we have to have God in our heart. And what does God ultimately want? He's the Prince of Peace. And the only way that we're going to have peace is through him. That's why I leave peace at the end. Now, am I a little crazy? Yeah, I'm a little crazy. But I have to be a little crazy to get some of these ideas out. That's how I was trained. So some of the things I mean, some of the things are a little nutty. But either way, it's coming out. And that's how I want it to be. So ultimately, we'll find an answer. I think ultimately, we're in a real different type of existence than the 1960s. We're all still trying to find our own voices. And we're in a time where we're seeing horrible injustice happen in a place that's almost like a museum, which is the Capitol. It's pretty much like a museum. It's a horrible place for something like that to happen. Almost like, if it happened in a church or something, which we've had horrible things happen in churches too. There's fear to go to church. The enemy uses fear. But remember, the only thing that we're going to do to win is to eventually get peace, right? So we must use peace to obtain peace. So we have to use peace to get peace.